should have left the damn room.
Well, back to what I was saying earlier. There it really ain't no fathers that stand. You know, we need more fathers to stand up, stand strong behind these kids and tell them what's wrong.
Exactly.
Yes. Because there's a bunch of them that they just leave and like. I'm like, you're going to get that in almost every race, but I look at it especially like with the black race, you don't see a lot of black fathers with their kids. You just don't.
Barely.
No, don't say barely. Don't say barely. Nah, because, you know, my brother, he just had a daughter, and he there all the time. He go to school full time, work full time, and he try to spend time. In fact, if you hear a baby crying in the background, that's my niece with my grandmother, stuck helping her babysit or whatever. You know what I mean? But it's all good. You know, that's family. I'm a babysit the little rugrat. Anyway, yeah. I mean, statistically, there are less fathers around in the black community as compared to other races or whatever. But it's not a huge number. Like they try to make it seem like.
Right.
On like how the media tries to make it seem like. I read that somewhere in Ebony magazine. They kind of broke that down. That there are a lot of fathers out there or whatever, they just don't get reported. It's like they purposely trying to make it look like, you know, if you with a black dude, be weary. He might not be there.
Yeah, I take back what I said about the barely part earlier, you know. But yeah, like I said, I take that back. But Saint Nick was correct about what he said. You know, they want to cover up what's really going on out there.
Yep.
But they do everything in their power to try to make us look bad.
Yep.
And it's sad that it's like that, man. Because I'm talking about in terms of men not being there for their sons, period, you know, regardless of race.
Sons or daughters.
Yeah, for their kids, because, you know, for sons especially, because I know this straight up. You know, my pops, he all asked when I was one. I mean, that nigga did me dirty, but it's all good with his punk ass. He left when I was one and shit, and growing up, I had to try to piece together how to be a man, if you will. Yeah, my mom, she sat up there and signed us up to a few like programs or whatever to, you know, be around, to have like male figures around or whatever. I would say what, but you know, what program or whatever, but you know, I ain't like them tight ass uniforms we had to wear. I'm gonna just leave it at that. You know. Anyway, yeah, try to have us around male figures or whatever, and I'm glad my mom was never the type to sit up there and be like, you just like your daddy, you sorry as hell like your daddy. She never said that to either one of us. I got a brother and sister that I know of, because from what I understand, my daddy was, you know, he was laying pipe from everywhere. So I'm pretty sure I know for a fact I got brothers and sisters, because my mom said it herself that while she was having me, another lady across the island, because, you know, I ain't from here. I'm from the Bahamas or whatever, raised in a Jamaican household. And, you know, they stopped over in the Bahamas, had me or whatever. Well, anyway, another lady across the city or whatever, across the island, because, you know, Freeport is real small, was having a kid. So I'm pretty sure I got a brother and sister. I know I do. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm always glad that she never said that we weren't nothing, or you just like your daddy, or always trying to meet up with a new guy and try to have him be stepdaddy. I'm glad my mom ain't never do that.
And which brings me to my next point. Like, parents need to watch most parents need to watch what they say to their kids.
Yes.
Because it can have an effect on them for the rest of their life.
Yes. I'll speak on that highly because my mother done said some foul shit that done is stuck with me. And that's why I go out my way with anything that I do, because I'm like, I'm not going to sit there and feel sorry for myself because all of my hopes and dreams and aspirations done went out the damn window because you done made, some dumbass mistakes. I'm not about to sit there. So that's why I go out my way and I do stuff that I want to do, how I want to do it. And I'll go that extra mile, for me, because I'm like, I'm not a failure. And that's one thing, like, that just it stuck with me because I see her and it's like she hasn't completed anything that she said she wanted to do except for have kids. And I'm like, any dude she been with, he been down low and foul, you know what I'm saying? And she had the tendency to come and share all of her frustrations and, how the men was doing her with me. So it made me very, very sensitive and very, independent, like where I don't need a dude to do nothing for me. Like I can stay without a dude for I don't know how long until I feel I want to engage myself in that type of activity. But until then, I'm a loner. I'm a loner. I'm independent. I do my own thing. And I remember when my father used to live in the house, she used to sit there and let him tell me and my brother that we wasn't going to be shit. We wasn't going to be nothing. And, they would be in the kitchen together, and he'd be saying it. Yeah, you and that old girl, y'all ain't going to be shit just like y'all daddy and all this. And she would say shit like, after he left out of the household, like, y'all just like y'all daddy, y'all act just like him. I can't stand y'all attitude and all this shit. And so all of that has stuck with me, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, how do you expect me to respect you when you sit there and you let our father, I'm glad to know that I have a father and I know who my father is, because some women out here just giving it up. They don't know who the father of their kids is. But I'm glad I got to know who my father was. But on the flip side, you let him disrespect us and violate us and tear us down. And I'm like, then on top of that, you want to take out all your frustration and failures on me? Like, because I used to get the brunt end of it. Like, I always used to get beat up by her. She always used to kick in my ass. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that just made me tough. Like, I had to develop a tough skin. So whenever a motherfucker come at me wrong, it kick in. Like, something just take over. Because I take keen in that shit. Like, I'm just very treacherous, and I have to watch out for what I do. Because I had to go that far with her because she was very, very abusive and very, very, like pessimistic. She wasn't very optimistic about things. So I'm like, yeah, you definitely got to watch out what you say to your kids and the way that you treat them. You know what I'm saying? Definitely have to watch out for that. Because a lot of them out here, they feel since they had you and they brought you into this world that you should respect them and honor them and love them. And I'm like, okay, but when you haven't been there, throughout their life, you done left and got up and went on and proud and maybe started a family with another woman or another man. How you expect for your child that you had that you left to respect you and honor you? You know what I'm saying?
You got to give respect to earn respect.
Exactly.
That's how the game goes.
No
matter who you is, no matter how much of an authority you got over somebody, you got to give respect in order to earn respect. You just can't just shit on nobody and think that it's going to be all good or you supposed to respect. No. You got to give respect to earn respect. That's why I give my nieces and my nephews, they just respect because I want them to respect me.
That's right. That's right. And I'm
my nieces and nephews, my god kids, the whole 9 yards. I do that because I want them to respect me. And when I give them their respect, they gonna respect me in return. Exactly.
Now, speaking of respect, earlier you said that how come a guy, when they approach you or whatever, they only go call you out by what they see, like, hey, blue shirt or something like that. What's the proper way to, in your opinion, you'd want somebody to approach you? Because, some females, you sit up there and actually try to be nice. Excuse me, miss, how you doing? What's your name? I'm not trying to slow you up, but kind of want to You caught my attention. I had to say something.